Renato De Castro, and he is the Smart City Senior Partner at RMA Advisory. So welcome, Renato, to the panel.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Abbas. Great pleasure to be here. It was also a pleasure to watch the presentation of Engineer Asin. It's very good to see that the whole world is somehow aligned with the new trends of smart cities. So today I have a challenge to discuss with you a little bit how is my view about what is to come on smart cities. We have we are trying to end a pandemic moment that changed a lot the world as we knew before, and I deeply believe that these will somehow influence us in developing smart cities and in all let's say aspects of a smart city, from planning to fund and delivery. So everything will be adjusted to this new reality. So I'd like to start with a book that I love. The name is Factfulness. This book was launched before the pandemic in 2019. And this book came with the idea that maybe our vision of the world is a little bit blurred. Basically, the author says that we are so influenced by what we call professional media that produce massive information, and this information is packed in a way that is the best way to sell information. So maybe we take information in a very, let's say, a vertical perspective without losing the big picture. He starts the book with a question. What do you think has happened with the global poverty in the last 20 years? And there was three possible answers. We have doubled the poverty, we have reduced it by 50% the poverty, or the poverty was equal, stable along the 20 years. And I bring you an analysis for the last 200 years. What happened in 20 years that we reduced it in half also happened in the last 200 years. In 18th century, we had 80%, 85% of the world population living in a poverty. Before the pandemic, it was 9%, still a lot, but we see the progress. And during the pandemic, we are forecasting that 0.3% has changed. So, okay, pandemic came with a negative impact for the world economy. We know it, but come on, we are in a good path. We are developing fast, and what is happening, it's good. All the verticals he analyzed in his book show that we are getting better. And this is part of what we call the smart city revolution. We saw several definitions. You, Mr. Abbas, started with some definitions, and also Engineer Asin brought some definitions. Well, I did a PhD on smart cities, and I tried to put together all these definitions, like 200 definitions, and I got a common path on these. So there are 5 main pillars on smart cities. Yes, it was, is, and it will be about technologies, but technology nowadays is just a driver. It should be people-oriented. Quality of life is the main objective of any smart city project. From the 2000s on, we have what we call the new economies that are influencing a lot these: creative economy, sharing economy, circular economy, and the last one, and probably nowadays the most important one, yes, we need the resilience. All the big smart cities ranked in the world, like London or New York, fall down with the COVID because they were not resilient. They were not thinking out of the normal matrix. Since 2016, I've been developing in Europe a concept that I'm calling City Smart Up. That the point is that why not, if the economy is evolving on this smart up mindset, why not do the same in our cities? Why not think the cities, smart city projects, but under this mindset of a startup? And I came with 4, I would say, steps, or 4 main actions that you can do on developing your smart city project. Doesn't matter if you are a stakeholder, government stakeholder, or public private sector stakeholder, citizen, or whatever. this falls to all the smart city, let's say, dimensions. The first one, and it was somehow also mentioned by engineer, I think it's very important. Yeah, we need to focus. City needs pitch. Cities as company, they need to be explained and promoted in a 5-minute storytelling. So we can engage from one side, people from another side, we can attract investment. Check the example we did for Istanbul. So Istanbul is competing worldwide with other cities to attract investment and also to become a smart city. So if you have to think Istanbul as a person, how would Istanbul be? Istanbul is an elegant and brave lady, ranked as one of the most beautiful in the world, with a famous and glamorous past. She has great attributes. She's honest, organized, draws the attention of the others around, and gives the impression that, however very experienced, she's still fresh and has a bright future to come. Doesn't matter if Istanbul has, well, 5,000 years, it needs to compete with New York or even in Europe with Paris, London to attract investment. It cannot lose the DNA. Istanbul is what Istanbul is, right? Istanbul will never be London and doesn't want to be London, so we need to sell Istanbul as Istanbul is. Then, second one, very important, simplicity. I mean, keep it simple. Before talking about the momentum to invest in a huge project, how can you solve daily problems? And this can be a perspective of a city, but also a perspective of a supplier. We are in a smart living event, right? I brought a very, very nice case from the States for the new trend of small apartment studios. Check what this company is now offering in the market. Very simple, solving a problem.
Hey Alexa, can you ask Ori to make the bed?
Okay.
So this is a 30 square meter environment that has multiple functions, very easy, and anyone could come with this kind of solution, right? Keep it simple. Third one, find partners. Before you ask how big is your budget to do smart cities, ask how your city or your company can cooperate to add value to the whole process. And I have the case that I had the honor to participate. Rio de Janeiro in 2010, due to the Olympic Games, Summer Olympic Games, and the World Cup that was to come, they decided to have a command center. Big project. They started first day of command center. The provider realized that Rio as a city had just 680 cameras on the street. Just to give you an idea, when it comes to Europe, London has 16,000 cameras on the street. Moscow, with a project called Sharing Cameras, they have 189 cameras on the streets. Of course, Rio could not do anything with just 600 cameras. And following the logic and traditional matrix, okay, let's put in more cameras. At that time, with the technology that we had that time, that was cable, wire technology, would cost Rio just to double the number of cameras, 3 times the cost of the investment in the command center itself. So of course it was not a solution, and even though with the 1,300 cameras, still not enough. What they did, the city digital officer of Rio flew to San Francisco to talk to Waze. At that time, Waze was starting doing the IPO there in the States. They had a big problem in Rio. It was the largest market for them, but people from Rio was using they were using ways to advert other people where the police was doing the blitz. And of course, the politicians want to ban Waze from Rio. At the end of the day, they paired. Waze brought all the technology inside the Rio Command Center. From night to day, Rio that had just 600 cameras started having 1 million users creating the traffic on time. 6 years later, I was in Malaysia, and I heard from a mayor. He was very proud to announce they were the first Waze city in Malaysia. So these big companies, they have a lot of money to invest in new solutions. Just a matter of trying to pair and how finding the way to pair with them. And the last one, and probably the most important one, is smart cities. It's a matter of a new mindset. We are not building new cities. We are not creating smart cities. It's society that is evolving to a new way to live together. So we must have these in mind. And when comes to the most difficult part of smart cities, that's funding, having the money to found a smart city. In Amsterdam, they started with a very nice perspective that is first people public private partnership. It's not asking citizens to pay or to give money, but inviting citizens to be part of this development, giving incentives to citizens, and they can come and be partner of the city hall in developing smart cities projects. And there are a lot of nice projects we did in Europe regarding the crowdfunding. That is fantastic. So to end my presentation, I think the most important question we have here is, why are we doing smart city? What is this change, this revolution that's happening that basically didn't change so much with the COVID? Actually, COVID just spin off, just accelerate, just boost the whole process. And I have this video that is just 1 minute. It's very nice, talking about who will be the citizens of the future, and of course, the consumers of the future. And that's why we are doing smart cities.
If you work in marketing, you better start upping your game.
Because you haven't seen anything like us yet. In just 10 years from now, we'll be buying and influencing buying in ways that will confound you. We won't just watch your ads, we'll expect smart, tailored content based on our social graphs. Tailored for me, and me. We want to interact with it as we watch it, not just with touch, but with voice, with gesture,
with intent. You better embed everything that is featured with additional information, social APIs, and e-commerce functionality. And we mean everything.
Everything. The car,
the skirt,
the hotel, the app.
Because we expect to double tap on anything to get more information.
Don't worry. You'll offset the cost by on-selling any leads to those data aggregator type companies.
We'll spread it through our networks
and co-create with you.
And when we do buy, there are normally more of us than there are of you. We can change your business in one trade, as long as the deal is on. Augmented reality will be the new reality.
AR apps almost function like special skills to help us navigate reality more effectively.
You wait and see what the iPhone of 2021 looks like. The clue is in the name.
And you better get used to paying us. Our browsing, influencing and purchasing data will make some of us pretty rich.
But don't overstep the mark, otherwise we'll block you.
Mass blocks kill brands overnight and keep you up all night. So if you work in marketing,
you better start upping your game, because you haven't seen anything like us yet.
Every time that I see this video, I get touched by the video, and this is very clear. Of course, the video was done for marketing and for companies, but it's the video that I use to train mayors around the world, because these are the new citizens of the cities. But at the end of the day, if you want a really a definition of a smart city that has nothing to do with the theory, but it's it's related to the perception of the citizens. Smart city for our citizens should be places where everything seems to conspire to make our life better. Otherwise, it makes no sense. They don't need to understand technology. They just need to understand life today is better than it was yesterday, and be sure that tomorrow will be even better. Thank you very much. And Mr. Abbas, it's with you now.
Thank you very much, Renato. Very interesting. Thank you for the videos. Very insightful. I think the things that you touched on about the poverty and how well we're doing and what direction we're going in, I truly believe that. I think that with the advancements and using the technology that we have at hand and communicating between these technologies is going to be key. You're right, the tomorrow's stakeholders and tomorrow's citizens are going to expect that from this generation.